Alright, welcome back YouTube. It's Willie here with Spaceman Aquatics coming to you live from my kitchen. Today's video is going to be about Convict Cichlids in a community tank. Yes, I said it, Convict Cichlids in a community tank. So we're going to go into how I take care of my convicts in my community's tank, my experiences, the pros and cons. Let's get into it. Before we get into this video, if you like the content, please comment, like, share, subscribe so we can grow the channel. Let's begin. So, again, this video is just about my experiences with having convict cichlids in a community tank. I understand that convict cichlids, they are a Central American cichlid. They are known to be pretty aggressive and they breed like guppies. Now, I wasn't quite aware that they bred so quickly before I decided to take on some convict cichlids, but I am completely aware of that now, and honestly it's getting me a little bit more interested into breeding fish. So I'm not really mad at my experiences with the convict cichlids in my 55 community tank spawning. So just to go in a little bit to how I got my convict cichlids, the two black cichlids are actually sisters. They were born at the pet store that I work at. I waited until they got a considerable size, about a quarter, the size of a quarter, and then I decided to bring them home. I raised them, fed them up, and they became nice and healthy. And then I decided to get a third one, and I wasn't totally sure if it was a male or not because he was a lot smaller than they were at the time. That's the male right there, actually. The pink male there. Again, I wasn't quite aware of whether or not he was a male or not, but I quickly began to see as he grew, he started to develop that hump on the front, and I want to say about after 2 months of having him in my tank, he started spawning with the females. As far as their temperament, they do tend to keep most of the fish to the right side of the tank, and even though they keep them cornered over in that side of the tank, that side of the tank is still plenty of room for the amount of fish that I have at the moment. It's plenty of room, it's heavily planted, and it's plenty of room there's plenty of room to get away from the cichlids if they become a little aggressive. And honestly, the cichlids in my tank, they don't seem to be very aggressive, outside of just normal parenting fish showing a little bit of protection over their fry. Other than that, my cichlids in my tank don't seem to be, again, terribly aggressive. But again, everyone doesn't have the same experience, which is why I wanted to go ahead and talk about this on my video on today. Now, I actually saw a video the other day, which actually kind of prompted me to make this video, and I'll probably put a link in the description for the gentleman who created the video. But he was giving like a top 10 or something like that of worst fish to have in a community tank, and convict cichlids were one of those fish. And some of his cons happen to be some of my pros. He did mention that they breed like guppies. He mentioned that they're kind of aggressive. But again, in my tank, I haven't had that experience, so I haven't had a problem with it. As far as what I feed them a variety of things. I feed them API cichlid formula. I feed them Hikari. It's a Hikari live food replica flake. I also feed omega-1 veggie crisps or veggie wafers. I like those because I think the number one ingredient is kelp. So very, very healthy for your fish. Any fish that are grazing fish, you got your Cory cats. I have a couple bala sharks in there as well. They like to eat that. I actually just put them in there from my quarantine tank. And again, the convict cichlids tend to pretty much eat anything I put in there. Every once in a while, I'll get some fresh ghost shrimp, and I'll put those in there. They get bloodworms weekly. They get brine shrimp weekly. So very, very healthy fish. Again, I haven't had a problem in my tanks with having convict cichlids. Again, I know it can be a headache for some people. I actually do have plans for my convict cichlids in the future. I understand that they're in a 55-gallon tank and it's a community tank with bala sharks. So in the future, I plan on getting a 125. I'll probably put those convicts and the bala sharks in there, and I'll probably actually scape the tank more conducive to breeding the convict cichlids, because right now it's really, my 55 gallon was not intended for that. Or I may redo the 55 totally for the convict cichlids and do something else with the other fish. So who knows? With that being said, this is Willie with Spaceman Aquatics. I've done enough talking. I'm out. Oh yeah, please comment, like, and subscribe.